Hey guys, welcome back to Six Sister Stuff. Today I am here with my mom and we're gonna make 15 make-ahead freezer meals. So my name is Kristen and every Sunday my sisters and I, and mom now, we try to make simple, easy meals so you guys can get dinner on the table. So you have loved our freezer meals in the past, so today we're making 15 make-ahead meals.
And with two of us, it's just gonna go that much faster.
So if you have someone to help you, grab someone and let's get cooking. So the first meal we're making is Fajita Quesadillas. Now we had this a ton growing up. It's one of our favorites. You can also freeze these very easily. So we're gonna walk you through all the steps and then show you how to freeze them and then show you how to cook them after they've been frozen.
All right, so I bought a lot of cheese because I'm gonna use this for a lot of recipes. Now this recipe calls for 2 peppers for each one, so I'm gonna need 6, 3 packets of fajita seasoning, 3 onions. Now I switched this up a little bit, so I have 1 chicken and 2 beef, so I'm gonna do a mixture of beef and chicken today. And then just 2 bags of tortillas because there's enough in here that it will make plenty. Then you wanna make sure you have some freezer bags. Make sure they say freezer because these will last a whole lot longer.
Now I'm gonna start by cutting up all the vegetables, the peppers, and the onions.
Okay, so you're gonna take the meat and we're gonna just put it on the stove top and just cook them all 3 at the same time. Now if you're not tripling this, you just want 1 bag and you're just gonna heat up your meat. Now this is pre-cooked meat, so yeah, we just need to heat it through.
While my mom is cooking the meat, I'm gonna cook the vegetables. So I have a stovetop. We're just gonna add a little bit of olive oil to it, get it nice and hot, and then we're gonna cook the veggies. All right, now we're gonna add the fajita seasonings. We're gonna add 3 packets because we're making 3.
Okay, we are all done and we are ready to make our Fajita Quesadillas.
And to put it together, we're just gonna do 3 at a time. So I put my tortillas down first and then we put the meat, the veggies, and the cheese. And when it's time, you're just gonna flip them gently over. Then when they're done, you just need to put them on a plate and let them cool. So you don't want to freeze things when they're burning hot. It just doesn't work very well. So I split my recipe into thirds. I cooked 1 of the fajita quesadillas on the skillet and the other 2 I'm making a kit out of. I'm gonna show you what I'm doing. So I have a third of the meat and a third of the peppers I put in a freezer bag. And then I have the cheese that I'll need, I put it in a little baggie. And then I have the tortillas all ready to go. So I'm actually gonna put these into a freezer bag. So then when it's dinner time, all you have to do is pull out the bag. You can hurry and put it together and dinner is on the table super fast. I wanna show you how I freeze these. So these are still a little bit warm, but cool enough that they will be just fine. So we're gonna stick these into the freezer mill. I like to lay them flat and stick 2 on top of each other. So we'll be able to fit all 6 in there. My favorite way to reheat these is just stick them in the microwave until they're heated all the way through. I seal it up just like this. Then when it's time to reheat, I just open a bag, take 1 out, seal it back up, leave it in the freezer, and I have a quick lunch or easy dinner.
So our next recipe is Cheeseburger Burritos, just a few ingredients, and you'll have a delicious dinner.
Yes. For this recipe, you need some big tortillas. We have our big bag of cheese still that we're using. We have ketchup, relish, mustard, and then 3 pounds of ground beef. I'm gonna show you how I cooked this.
So I'm actually taking 3 pounds of frozen ground beef and putting them into my strainer. You can also use a trivet if you don't have a strainer. Then you're gonna just stick this into the Instant Pot. I added 1 cup of water, put in my 3 pounds of meat. Next I put the lid on, turn that little knob to sealing. Then we're gonna push pressure cook and it's gonna cook for 25 minutes. When it's done cooking, you're gonna let it sit there for about 10 minutes to release on its own. Then when it's done, you just pull it out. Now I know it looks like just big meat blobs, but I wanna show you all the grease that fell underneath so you don't have to drain it out because the grease is already out. Then I just take my chop and stir or a wooden spoon and you're just going to cut up your meat.
So if you're just gonna make 1 recipe instead of tripling it, you're just gonna use a 1/2 cup of ketchup, a 1/4 cup of relish, and then just a 1/4 cup of mustard. But because we tripled it, we're gonna make sure we triple all those amounts.
Now I tripled this and it's time to mix it all together. Now feel free to add a little bit more ketchup or mustard depending on what you like if it needs a little more, and then mix it again.
Okay, so you're just gonna take a little bit of the meat mixture and just put it right down the middle. Go ahead and add your favorite cheese. I like a 3 mixture, but you can do cheddar too. And you're just gonna roll it up. And that is it. Now it's time to stick them in the freezer bag. So I have about 6 people in my family, so I just do it in groups of 6. So we'll put 6 in here right now, actually 7, my husband will eat 2. But I just kind of group them in however many I need. Now, you can also make these for lunch. You could fill this all the way up, take one out individually, microwave it until it's heated all the way through, and it's so simple. Now, when I'm serving these, I love to serve them with lettuce, tomato, even a little bit of sour cream, but you could add more things such as pickles, jalapenos, kind of whatever you want. You can make this cheeseburger burrito into your own. All right, next recipe we're making is called Baked Ziti. Now, again, we're tripling. I like to get these aluminum pans. You can get these at the Dollar Tree. Just make sure that when you cook them, you put them on a cookie sheet, or they're a little flimsy. Or you can get a little bit nicer ones. Just know they're a little more expensive. Let's get on to the recipe.
So we cooked the meat. We have 3 pounds here like we did last time. We cooked it in the Instant Pot. Super simple and easy, and we're just chopping it up. All right, as she's chopping, we're gonna add a little bit of onion powder. Remember, you have 3 pounds in there. And garlic powder, just to taste. There we go. We need some flavor in there.
While the meat was cooking, we cooked the noodles at the same time. Now you notice I dumped in 3 boxes of noodles. Just make sure that you fill the water all the way to the top so there's no noodles poking out. We don't want dry, crusty noodles. So all the noodles are covered. Then you're gonna cook it for just 4 minutes.
Then when it's done, go ahead and release the pressure. Now I would suggest using an 8-quart if you have one, because I used a 6-quart and it was full. But it still worked. Okay, so now we're taking our pasta and we're just splitting into thirds between the pans.
So usually with this recipe you do layers, but we decided we're gonna do noodles first, then sour cream, then the meat, then the sauce, then the cheese, and kind of just mix everything together. So we have about a cup or so of sour cream. Just mix it the best you can around your noodles. Again, remember, we're gonna mix everything all together, so it doesn't have to be perfect.
So this is 3 pounds of hamburgers, so each one will get a pound.
Now to each pan, we're gonna add 2 jars, 26-ounce jars of your favorite spaghetti sauce.
Now after you add the sauce, go ahead and just start mixing it together.
All right, so when it's all mixed together, now it's time to just add your favorite cheese. I like to use the 3-blend cheese. You could also use mozzarella. You could use provolone. I believe the recipe calls for provolone, but it really doesn't matter. Just your favorite cheese on top. All right, when it's time to cook, you have a few different options. One, you can cook it just like this. I like to cook it with the foil on. You'll cook it at 350 degrees for about 20 to 30 minutes, just until everything is heated through, because your meat is cooked and your noodles are cooked. Now, if you're gonna cook this from completely frozen, please know that it will take about 90 minutes to 2 hours at 350 degrees, just because it is frozen. It's gonna take a while to thaw and then to heat up. So that's how you cook it, thawed or frozen. All right, the next recipe is easy breakfast casserole. This one is one of my favorites because you just cook it again, another aluminum pan, and then if you can eat it just like this, we like to serve this with pancakes or something good. But if you're kind of sick of this, because there are 3 panfuls of it, I also like to take this and put it into like a tortilla and make a breakfast burrito, dip it in some taco sauce. It's good.
So if you're making this just single, you're going to do 6 eggs, but I'm doing 18 since I'm making it 3 times. With each pan, there are 6 cups of hash browns. I kind of mixed my hash browns. I like the square kinds, and then I also just like the shredded kind. So whatever hash browns you like, you just need 6 cups in the bottom of each pan.
Now for each pan, you need about 1.5 cups of milk mixed to your eggs. So we're gonna add quite a bit, about 4.5 cups. Now to your milk and your eggs, before you mix everything in, I'm just adding a little bit of salt and pepper to taste. Just be aware, there are a lot of eggs in there. Then you're just going to mix it all together. Now we're gonna add 2 cups of ham to each pan, and also 1/2 cup of some green onions. So we're just gonna add that to it. We're just gonna add the cheese on top. I like to add about 1.5 cups to 2 cups of cheese. All right, while Mom finishes up the cheese, now it's time for the egg mixture. So we just have eggs, milk, salt and pepper in here. We're going to try and evenly distribute into thirds. It doesn't have to be perfect, it's fine. Just pour it right on top. All right, I feel good about it. You?
Yeah.
Awesome.
So before we freeze this, we wanna make sure that everything is cooked. So we're gonna cook it at 350 degrees for about an hour and 15 minutes uncovered. It should be totally fine in here because we covered the cheese with the eggs. Then after it's cooked, let it cool, and then you can freeze it. If you want to heat it back up again, you can stick it in the microwave, not in the foil, but cut a piece for yourself, stick it in the microwave, or put it in your oven at 350 degrees just until everything is warmed through. The last recipe I'm making today is simple and easy chicken enchiladas. Now again, I'm taking all my meat and cooking it in the Instant Pot. It's gonna be so easy. I am excited to show you.
So with this recipe, you're gonna need 2 to 3 pounds of frozen chicken breasts. So I'm putting about 6 to 7 pounds in my Instant Pot. Then I'm gonna add a cup of water. Go ahead and put your lid on. Make sure that little knob is turned to sealing if you have one. Then you're gonna push the pressure cook button. And because we have frozen meat, we only have to cook it for 25 minutes. I love the Instant Pot for that reason. Then when it's done cooking, go ahead and take it out and you're gonna shred all of your chicken into a big giant bowl.
Okay, we're first starting with some green enchilada sauce. If you like red enchilada sauce, that works too. We're pouring just a little bit in each pan, and then we kind of just mix it around because you don't want your enchiladas to stick onto the bottom. You just want a little bit of sauce on the bottom. You're gonna take 3 packages of taco seasoning and just dump it right in. We're trying to make this as simple as possible so you guys can make these freezer meals rather quickly. Okay, we got 3 packages in, and then I have 24 ounces of sour cream. I'm actually gonna put this whole thing in there and just mix it all together. Our chicken is all mixed, ready to go. We're just gonna put a little bit on each tortilla. You can also put a little cheese on there too. We're gonna roll it up and then put it into the pan. Once these are ready to go, you're just gonna add the rest of your enchilada sauce, because remember, you already put a little bit down on the bottom. So just try and cover all the tortillas, because you don't want crispy tortillas as it cooks. So the more that each tortilla is covered, the less crispy it will be on the edges. Next, you're just gonna add your favorite cheese on top. So you can add cheddar, you can add, this is mozzarella, just kind of whatever your guys' favorite cheese is. Yeah, go ahead and add it to the top. Okay, now you're just gonna add your foil on top because we need to cook it with some foil. So you're gonna cook this at about 350 degrees for 20 minutes or until it's heated through. All right, you guys, I hope you loved this freezer meal. Now, if you want more freezer meal ideas, make sure you check out that video up there, and we'll see you next time. Bye.